it would have told the truth. So we've come full circle. Our farm celebrated 100 years last year of being in the family on my mom's side.
He's pretty old.
Yeah?
He looks pretty good. 115.
What is it, Melchizedek?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, we moved here in '83. My wife is from the city, and she basically thought I knew what was best because I grew up on a farm, and I thought I knew it was best too, because when we moved back there was lots of prosperity. In those days there were lots of four-wheel drive trucks, campers on trucks. Now there's fifth-wheel trailers, etc. But new equipment, everybody seemed to have new equipment, and it looked like a good time to come back, so we did. And we took on a huge mortgage, and we lasted about 5 years before we started to have to start borrowing money. And that happened more frequently. Well, it happened every year, and more money each year. And we found that in order to have more income, I realized that if we can get rid of some bush, trees, work that up, plant grain or pasture, we can make more money. And every year it seemed like we needed to do more of that. If we ran into a drought, the sloughs that were dry, I'd get a cat to clear the willows around it, work it up, disc it, more grain. Well, that didn't work either. And so by October of 1995, about 12 years later, harvest was done, and Marie and I were sitting at the breakfast table and saying, well, what do we do now? Do we sell out? I was 46 years old, and I had no idea. I mean, I spent a lot of time logging and on the west coast of Vancouver Island. I didn't want to go back there. So anyways, we said, well, let's spend the winter and let's give it some thought. So the next day I went to Killam to get the mail, and I pulled out the mail, and there was a leaflet right on top, and it said, if you want to get off the agribusiness treadmill, come to Camrose to the CRE, and there'll be about a 3-hour presentation on holistic management. So I went to that, and it was very interesting. The facilitator of that presentation said that big agriculture is basically ruining the ecosystem, and what we have to do is we have to start looking at the ecosystem like trees have a value, sloughs, wetlands, everything has a value, and we have to start understanding that so we can start to make things work. And I was looking at all the destruction I'd done, and I thought, oh boy. So after the 8-day course, it was two days in November, 2 in December, 2 in January, and 2 in February. On the way home, Marie and I were literally excited about the future. Even though we still had $250,000 of debt, we decided to sell 2 quarters of land. We got out of debt on May 1st of 1999, and took that course in 95, 96, and pardon me, yeah, 1999, we got out of debt. So we decided, there was a fellow at that time by the name of Joe Salatin, and he was from Virginia, and he was doing this kind of stuff, raising hogs on pasture, chickens, laying hens, turkeys, grass-finished beef. And so we saw a video during the course, and what I liked about it, it wasn't high-tech. You didn't have to buy a $100,000 tractor or a $150,000 combine, and it was basically agrarian, like Wendell Berry's kind of stuff. And so we started doing that, and we figured we had to have a niche, because you just can't raise an ordinary chicken using the grains, etc., and take it and try and sell it somewhere, because they can go to Safeway in those days, or IGA, and it can buy a chicken way cheaper. So we decided to go organic. So we started carving out a niche, but how do we market? Because the kids were leaving the farm, we basically became a mom and pop operation. So to go to farmers markets and come home and do chores was a lot of work. So we decided our method of marketing would be to invite the consumer to come and visit our farm and to ask questions, to be like, we get our farm audited by an inspector for its organic status once a year, our beef for animal welfare status once a year. And when people come for a tour, I say, today you're the auditor. You get to ask the tough questions, and if you don't get the answer that you think is fair, or that I'm not covering the whole thing, or I'm hiding something, then we don't deserve to to have you as a customer. So last year was the most people we've ever had. We had around 300 people come to the farm, and I guess people say, what kind of difference is it making? Well, I think if 2 or 3 say that they're going to change how they spend their food dollar, then it's a start. But to see what's happened to the area that we're in now since 1983 is devastating. We've lost a few machinery dealerships in Killam. In the county of Flagstaff, there's been 3 schools closed. There's been about probably 15 churches closed. Volunteer organizations are powering down because there's burnout. People can only do so much, eh? So, and